Yep, the storm was only barely 5 weeks ago, and we're still talking about it, and it's still having effects further on. So something that's going to be fixed, have to be fixed in late autumn. But yeah, who would have believed it, eh? A 4-minute storm and right across the city of churches, Adelaide, and yeah, still causing major problems. Anyway, everyone's scratching their head at the moment. Even Ringo's getting his tape measure out to see whether it won't be long. So, yep. Anyway, yeah, we had I don't know, we had a couple of, a few cops turn up to an ambush unannounced, or turned up unannounced to ambush, and everyone in this country has just got their head in their hands thinking, how is that even possible? We've got the flooding on the eastern states coming down the Moe, which is, I'll put it to you, it's the capital river of of Australia, the country. It's the Murray-Darling Basin, basically, but yeah, to put it into perspective for overseas people so they can grasp it in their minds and understand it, just call it the capital river of Australia. Yeah, the Murray River, it's spelled Murray River, so you might want to look it up. But yeah, so we had this strange event up in Queensland where these 4 officers went up to a property for a welfare check in apparently the middle of the night, and later on there was a 6-hour gunfight or something, and yeah, I mean, nothing that's coming out of it is making sense. As I said, the first statement they came out of, what do they say? The first impressions are always the judge people by their first impression. The first thing, the statement they had is they turned up unannounced to an ambush, and as I said, it just doesn't make sense. How do you turn up unannounced to an ambush and for a welfare check at night time, and then the person next door gets shot in the back coming over to help, and I'm thinking, well, that sounds more like it was probably friendly fire because he's on the associated property. He looks the part, so they probably thought he was one of them, and he got shot in the back. It was like, what was it, green on green, or what do they call it, And then we got these statements why a little clip of helicopter chatter comes across, and they talking about it Whiteside, and now there's some blah, blah. One of the 2 brothers was Aboriginal. I'm thinking, he looks like bloody Greg Burke. I mean, if he's Aboriginal, Greg Burke's Aboriginal. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. So anyway, doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense. And then as I said, we got the floods on the eastern states coming down the Murray-Darling Basin, and they're due to hit our part of the country. And yeah, my camera's still stuffing up, so I might have to put it just on. Colour check on the banana and the orange and the lemon. We've got a bit of whipper snipper stuff down there. Oh, don't get these ones. These it's another hot, warmish day today, 34, well, it's probably going to be 35, 36, because we got breezy weather. I don't know if you can see the breezy weather up there. Up there, can you see that? So it's warm, dry winds today, sort of thing. So, yeah, anyway, we'll see how we go. And, yeah. Anyway, so don't get these, because they only have like 2 fingers and a thumb sort of thing, and because of that, they're actually a struggle to get on, and you want the proper ones that have all the 4 fingers and the thumb. Yeah, so by cutting 2 of the finger things out, it's a struggle to get on. Working out which one's which, and it's just a struggle to get on, basically. Anyway, so you're going into that thing. Once it's over 38 degrees, it's legal in this country to free bag. So just in case you didn't know, I've got my silkies on at the moment because they're 5 degrees cooler, and yeah, I don't know. I always find that a banana is more digestible when you have it with a Coke or a Pepsi. I mean, maybe with a Pepsi you can understand it, but this is a Diet Coke too, so you know. Anyway, so I won't eat on camera, even though I'm dying to. Yeah. So this is the June issue. Yeah. Maybe we should go to macro in camera to see if that helps. As I said, the thing's still scrolling out around in a there we go. So I got this is June. That turned up in the last day of August, so basically almost the 1st of September. Went to Kangaroo Island. That was in August. We went to Kangaroo Island. So whether the September issue turned up in the post and someone took it out of the box, highly unlikely. We're only away for a week. Basically 7 days. Unlikely. We do have problems with the Australia Post in this country now. The motto "We deliver" it's probably gone to "We deliver occasionally" now. Monday, Friday, possibly Wednesday, with the Christmas rush. Parcel post got so big that they sort of it's pushed the letter side of things to the side. What they should have done is funded the letter side of the thing out of the quadrupling of the parcel post. Yeah, quadrupled. So there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to deliver every single. So everything's now going, you know, private courier or something like that. You know, the usual thing that's overseas sort of thing, because we can't trust the Australia Post now. So they're almost doing themselves out of business, you know, out of the market sort of thing, because delivery's got so shoddy now. As I say, Monday, possibly Friday, blah blah blah. You know, it's not good enough. Sort of thing. And as I said, they should run the service out of the parcel component of the Australian Post, because it's got so big, you know. But no, there doesn't seem to be any common sense these days, you know. You can't run the letter side of thing as if it were a charity. No, couldn't possibly do that. It might work, it might function efficiently. and actually grow itself, you know. Anyway, so the December one turned up in December on Friday. I didn't see that, but I'm assuming what's happened is the prices in the inflation has increased such in America that they decided to probably send it sea mail. So it's probably a 3-month wait. So if they sent it in September, it's probably going to turn up, I don't know, January or before my birthday or something. Whether they crossed in the post, I don't know. Whether I'm going to go out and then check the box today and find that it's turned up, you know, the next post cycle after this one is Monday today. So, you know, we might actually get a post delivery today. Though it's a bit warm for the post. I wouldn't disparage the post not coming today, because it's pretty warm, you know, you don't want to go around this, you know, on a day like today sort of thing. But, you know, they do have these new cycles for the winter time where they were all enclosed. So it's like a little mini moped, but it's enclosed. I mean, the parcel part of Australia should pay for all this, you know. You know, I don't begrudge anyone having the tools to do the job. As I said, you should only complain about your tools if there's a problem with your tools, you know, like it doesn't work or it's not functional. You know, it's like a slink. No one should complain about a Slinky-SPRING unless it doesn't slink, you know, like these modern day Slinky-SPRINGs, you know. They're almost exactly half the size they need to be functional. You know, so even the plastic one. It's almost like, oh, we've got the concept here, but we'll chop it in half so we can sell twice as many Slinky-SPRINGs that don't work. Aren't functional, I don't know. I mean, it's just crazy sort of thing. Anyway, so I'm assuming they voted on raising the subscription rate for, hang on, I better check this, hang on, just wait a minute. Yeah, I've checked my subscription it's still due for another 2 years, so you know they're going to have to suck it up. So they sent the September one, Sea-Mail, they've had a vote to decide to raise the rates for next year, and that will take part, and that's probably why the December one, they got a yes vote from the raising the rates, and so they were sent the December one as normal, so they're taking my inflated, I suppose, out of the coming rates for next year or something, but my ones won't kick in until, because I took out, what was it, a 10-year subscription or 5 years? No, I think they only allow you to do 5 years, so I've got another 2 years to go in my one, so I wouldn't be surprised. Either that they're crossing the post, or somehow it's gone back or something, you know, the usual thing. It's almost starting to feel like the 1970s, you know, when, you know, it would be at least the following cycle, like the March one wouldn't turn up to probably just over gone June or something like that, and that was in the days when, you know, by the end of the 1970s into the early 80s, you were paying, it was about $50 for the subscription for foreigners, sort of thing. That was when you actually got onto the cycle. As I said, it took you about a year to get onto the computer system cycle. So you'd have to wait, and then you get a whole pile of stuff which was fantastic. You get a whole backlog of journals and things to catch up on, sort of thing. But then once you got onto the computer system, as I said, it would take, they were obviously sending like Sea-Mail or something like that. It would be at least the next cycle, so you get March in just over June, maybe later. I remember I got a surprise the last year I was in WA. The December issue actually turned up in December, and it was shock horror just before I was about to move interstate to here, to Southern Abbott land, as we call it now. You know, Tony Abbott, former Prime Minister, failed priest, aka Dr. No, because he did nothing on the country wanted solar and all the benefits of electric cars and stuff, and he just was going, no, no, no. As I said, it's a bit like, you know, these police people turn up. I think what happened is they probably went in, as I said, someone probably said that one of the people was Aboriginal. Whether the person was adopted, I don't know, but you know, I mean, they said, oh, Aboriginal, we're going to go, guns are blazing or something, and they got the shit pushed in, basically. I think that's, pardon the Australian parlance, but you know, you've got to be bloody honest in this country, you know. You could be dead in 20 minutes, you know, a red-bellied black snake, and you get bitten by that. You barely crawl out to the road to get help, you know, and by the time the ambulance gets there, it's probably too late, you know, so, you know. Yeah, you got to call it as you see it, so that you may be wrong. You can always apologise later and say, I'm sorry, but, you know, that's what it looks like, you know, turning up for a welfare check at night time, and yeah, I mean, it's to an ambush. As I said, that was the first statement that came out at about 3 o'clock in the morning. It came across, major incident up in Queensland, and of course that's 3 o'clock our time, which is like 4:30 their time. By 5:30, the beginning of the news cycle, which is 7 o'clock up their time, which is, it was now daybreak, where they were showing clips of lots of cops in the dark, sort of thing, and mentioning they had a 6-hour gunfight or something. I mean, so when did they actually arrive to the initial people, you know, if they had a 6-hour gunfight, you know, or was it just on dusk or something, you know? I don't know, but nothing that's come out is. Now they're having this story that they snuck across the border with a carload of guns during the pandemic or something, and I said, well, was that... But if it wasn't a checkpoint, how do you know? I mean, if you got, as I said, if you haven't got a photograph or some video stuff, it didn't happen. Now they're being very cagey, not putting out the audio. We had one bit of a tiny snippet from a helicopter or something, and he's talking about the white side, and I'm thinking, here I am doing the usual thing. Oh, maybe they're using coded words because they cut through the CB radio better than normal words would. You know, Tango, Foxtrot, whatever it is, you know, or it's coded so they know what it is. Maybe there's me thinking the helicopter's got white on one side and black on the other, so, you know, they can turn the black side into the spotlight and still can't be seen, or they can turn the white side through so they can be seen or something, or or they don't know the left from the right. I mean, it's crazy. We're sort of double thinking everything now, and nothing makes sense. And it's the topic of the day. We've got the floods coming across the border down the Murray, and we're not talking about it. Basically, we're talking about this other thing up in Queensland, because it just doesn't make sense. As I said, first impressions are always the best, as I say. And that first statement, they said, you know, they turned up unannounced to an ambush, and everyone goes, and we're all going, what? Doing like doesn't make sense. So anyway, so you know, we're trying to give them the benefit of the. Oh yeah, that was the thing. At 5:30 at the beginning of the news cycle, they already had someone in this like blue suit interviewing people in the town, and they're all acting really funny. A woman on the 7:30 report, her head was shaking, but from the shoulders down, perfectly calm. It was almost like the brain was saying, it was like cognitive dissonance. The brain was saying, I can't do this. That's not the truth. You're lying, sort of thing. And you can see that on the 7:30 report. She's like shaking from the neck up, but from the shoulders down, perfectly calm. I'm thinking, how is that even possible? You know. So yeah, so the whole of the country now is just like talking about this thing, because we're all talking about it, because it just doesn't make sense. As they say, it doesn't pass the smell test. It doesn't pass the pub test, as they say in this country. You know sort of. It just doesn't add up. As I said, they'll go around to the people in the town. So this is early mornings when they had this bloke already spruced up in his blue suit, sort of. And I'm thinking, well, who's he interviewing? Of all these people in town, like crisis actors or something? Because they're acting really strange. Right from the word go. All these people in this town are acting almost like they've either got a script, or they've got to say, I've got to say good stuff, or you know, it might happen to me. I don't know, but it just, as I said, it's got a whiff about it. As I said, you know, yeah. If this bloke is Aboriginal, so is Greg Burke. That's what I'm saying, you know. You put a photograph of this bloke up, and you put a photograph of Greg Burke up, and they could almost be twin brothers, sort of thing, you know. You could probably say, well, which one's the Greg Burke? Is it him or him? As I said, it's that bad, you know, that it just smells, and it doesn't pass the pub test, and they're almost like digging in. Every time they do something new, it gets worse and worse and worse. And it's almost like we're hoping they'll go back to the beginning and apologise and say, very sorry, we got it wrong, we did this, and it's our own fault, and we deserve to get our shit pushed in, basically. I think that's what I think they need to do, because otherwise nothing makes sense. And as I said, first impressions are always usually spot on, and that first statement out, turning up for a welfare check unannounced to an ambush. How did they know they were coming? I mean, did they go past a tripwire or something? You know, so they were cavalier at best. You know, they weren't, didn't have the minds on the job. You know, weren't watching out for things. You know, this bloke had gone off the grid, sort of tried to lead a low life for 18 months. I mean, another thing, it doesn't matter. He's supposed to be a principal of a primary school, and they put these posts up online, and there's grammatical errors and spelling mistakes, and I'm thinking maybe one or two, but not that many. Nah, doesn't make, not a principal of a primary school. Maybe one or two, but nah, it's too many. It just doesn't make sense. You know what they do, so yeah, and it's just going to get worse, I reckon. It's almost like they want to sweep it under the carpet, and every time they try to sweep it under the carpet, they just muddy the waters and make it even worse. Yeah. Anyway, so my idea with this thing is it's still coming. It's gone sea mail. It'll turn up either just before Christmas or by my birthday, I reckon. And yeah, I think that's what it is. basically they sent it to email. They had to raise the rates, but they had to wait to a meeting or something, or a special general meeting or something. Now they've had that, they've raised the rates, everything now can go, or they had to have special permission to send people who took out longer memberships to go airmail or something like that. They had to have special permission or something, and they've raised the rates slightly, especially to incorporate that sort of thing, the usual thing,